time to return to our Johto journey. Hey everybody, I'm DeoGenZ, and sorry for the huge hiatus that my Crystal walkthrough just took, but we're back on track now, and in the last episode, we defeated the marauding Miltank of Whitney, and we explodified the gym, so if you missed that, you might want to get a rehash of the last episode and watch the gym go up in flames. But today we're going to head up Route 35, probably go into the national park, and also pick up Kenya from this guy. No, we're not grabbing locations, but we're getting a Pokemon. Kenya. He wants us to deliver this to his buddy. And it says, Dark Cave leads to another road. Randy. It's funny, I remember this as being one of the first decisions in the game that gave you a perception of good and evil. Well, I could steal this guy's Spearow and use it on my own team, or I could just do as he says and just take it to Randy. It kind of reminds me of Fallout 3 in the way of how you can choose how good you can be and how evil you can be. You can be supremely good and not even open the letter, so you won't get any information you weren't supposed to, but Randy will thank you handily. Or you could open the letter, not even deliver the bird to Randy, and take the supremely evil route. And Maja has found us some useful shopping items. Perfect. I never go back to the PC to check if it's potions or any type of healing items, things like that. What I will do on occasion, though, is go back to my house to see if she bought the Pokemon dolls. Back in the day, I didn't have anybody to trade with, so I couldn't build up watts for that whole little mini-game. But I know that you were able to collect watts and unlock new kinds of Pokedolls to put on your desk. And the only function it served was for aesthetically pleasing purposes. It was just foresight into what Heart Gold and Soul Silver would be doing, allowing you to walk around with your Pokemon. I kid. Actually, something that people don't really know about this game, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, is that this was supposed to be it. This was supposed to be the last game in the series. And I might have mentioned this in past episodes, but it's been months ago since we've had another episode, so I can't really recall. So this was supposed to be the finale, which might explain why we saw two regions. And since then, we haven't seen two regions in any game, not even a GBA or DS cartridge, which surely has much more room than a Gameboy Color cartridge, right? I would imagine. Just looking at the way evolution goes, I don't think they would downgrade their space from cartridge to cartridge. But for some reason, we don't see any new, or not any new, but any multiple regions on one disc or cartridge. Maybe that'll change with 3DS. We shall see. For those of you who are new to my series, and I'm sure there are quite a few because I've gathered a lot of subscribers since the original time of this LP's premiere. But if you're new to this, I want to tell you as a warning, don't follow my team. What I'm doing is testing myself greater because I've already played Crystal a bajillion times just because it's my absolute favorite game of all time. Not even just Pokemon game, it's my favorite game of all time. So I've played it a bajillion times, and for this walkthrough, I would like to test myself, as I do with most of my walkthroughs that I've played the game in before, and use a team that I normally wouldn't use. So this team seems clunky, and it's a big reason why we have to fast forward all the videos, because you don't want to see a whole 5 minutes of just using Lick or Poison Sting until the opponent gets poisoned and is whittled away. Nobody wants to watch that. So if you're looking for good Pokemon, just go by tips that I give along the way. Don't go by my team, because it's a ragtag team of miscreants that hopefully will lead to success at the Pokemon League and regions beyond. I will recommend this though, if you're planning to do Let's Plays in the future or are doing Let's Plays currently, do not, I repeat, do not run two Pokemon RPG games at the same time. It's not desirable. No. That's kind of the pickle I've forced myself into here, doing black and crystal at the same time. But you know what? It's spring. I'm feeling so much better because of the warmth that I believe I can pump out the episodes. Plus, we just got done with Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure, and that makes me very happy. If anybody was wondering why that happened all of a sudden, where I just started doing all these random Let's Plays from my console, my Wii console, because at the time that was the only one I had. Now I have 360 as well. Thank you, Matt Goldman. But that was because I got the hop itch. And for years coming up to that, I was trying to figure out how I could capture good footage, good quality camera footage from games. And at this point now where I stand, I can capture pretty much everything that I need to for this channel. 360, Wii, Game Boy Color, Advance, DS. I've got it all covered. And also, just so I can repel some of the upcoming comments about repel, ho-ho, there's a pun for you. I don't use repels because I do train my Pokemon, so in that jump cut that you saw there, my Pokemon actually gained a little experience. So that's why I don't use repels often. Maybe as my Pokemon start to evolve and they get stronger and they don't exactly need all the minor experience points in the grass, maybe that's when I'll start using repel. But until then, Pidgeys galore. Oh boy. That's another thing, is if you're riding your bike, you have a higher encounter rate in the grass because you're moving faster. At least I know that to be true in probably Ruby and Sapphire. That's when that started, but it seems to be the case also in Crystal. If you can get an accelerated speed, more Pokemon will pop out. And if you think about it, it makes sense because you're driving through the grass at a rapid speed. You might run over a bunch of Pokemon, ergo irritating them and causing them to battle you. We found TM04. Awesome. Wow, what a jump in TMs we've had. How many TMs exist now? I don't even know. Black and White really brought about a lot. And I think it also I don't know if it renumbered some of them, but I know a few that were TMs before and HMs now. Actually, I don't know anything. What am I talking about? All I know is it's confuzzling. And if you don't have your pulse, or if you don't have your finger on its pulse, you'll probably fall behind in the metagame. That's also, if you guys recall, during my explosion of content production that was bullshit because it was just me starting a bunch of things. But now we come around here and I'm finishing them, so not so much bullshit. But around that time, I also wanted to do Wi-Fi Battle Wednesdays. I'm sure plenty of you remember that. But the problem with that was, well, the first problem was I tried to do it on Pokemon Battle Revolution, which has very few and far between people using it anymore. So that was problem one. And then problem two was the fact that I haven't trained an EV train team in half a year. Probably half a year. We're going over half a year at this point. So I'm using all my outdated Pokemon from 4th Gen, and I've had no time to look into 5th Gen EV training other than what I do for the PokeChats on Sunday. And if you don't know what PokeChat is, it's my live cast. I host it every Sunday on Ustream, and I do Pokemon of the Week, so you guys can get an idea of how I would raise that particular Pokemon. It's pretty much what Cerebi does and a lot of other sites and YouTubes do, but it's just my own depiction of it, my own battle strategies and how I would handle the thing. National Park, definitely one of my favorite zones. And also, probably the start of my obsession with glitches and hacks. You'll see it later in this episode, but there's a break in the fence up ahead, and it's incredible when you're a noob and you don't know what that means, and you don't realize that that was pre-programmed, and you think that, wow, the programmers fucked up and they missed a pixel or something. Oh man, the transformative qualities of that, it's incredible. Because that led me down the line of going out to get an action replay, and at another point a Game Shark for the Game Boy Advance, and also scouring the internets for any type of glitches that people have stumbled across. That really flourished once I found that break in the fence up ahead. So it's kind of good to be a noob in the beginning, especially when you're a speculative noob who's got tons of ideas flowing around in his mind. Although I should make it a good point to mention that I don't hack or cheat anymore. I never really cheated. What I cheated was the events. That's really what I did. I didn't cheat the game as far as getting high stats, because I thought even that was pointless then, and I was younger then, so more naive. But even then I thought it was pointless. What's the point of playing the game if you're just going to have super stats that nobody can touch you with? I don't like battles that are so one-sided that obviously I'm going to win and I only need one move to win. That's just completely boring to me. I don't know why you'd want to do that, and it perplexes me so when people on the metagame try and show up with the Wonder Guard Spiritome. It's like, really? You don't think I'm just going to shut my game off after that? Oh wow, maybe I can win if I poison him. Alright, yeah, and maybe you have about 5 other Wonder Guard Spiritomes on you because you're a douchebag. But I never did any of that sort of things, any of those sort of things. But what I did do with cheating and hacking was access areas that you can only go to with events. I wasn't as much on the internet as I am today, but I did know that there were Pokemon you can only get at events. And as far as I knew, there were no events for any Crystal game. In fact, I think that at that point, they were moving on into the GBA. So Crystal really wasn't an idea on their radar. But I wanted to see Celebi, and in the later games, I wanted to see Latios, wanted to see Deoxys. Deoxys was probably the best. I mean, of course, he's my favorite Pokemon, but that was such an epic puzzle. Okay, it wasn't that epic. I'm over-dramatizing it, but memorizing it. Remembering it in my brain and going over the reverie is nice. I would like to see more legendary lands of Pokemon. And what I mean by that are special zones where you can find legendary Pokemon. But here's a twist. Here's something that I think would be fun to do. And I'm actually inspired by this game, so now you can see where I'm coming from. But what if you came upon a legendary Pokemon, and it's not like you had another part to do in the game, but when you got there and you clicked on it, it fleed instantly. It didn't even go into the battle. It just went into another part of that dungeon or map of that legendary area. And so you'd have to play Catch the Legendary before you can even catch the legendary. Kind of an idea I got from Suicune, jumping around the map and just encountering him in all kinds of places. But I really did enjoy seeing legendary Pokemon all over the place. So we're coming up on the time limit, and we got a lot of battling done in this episode. We got lots of XP. I was about to say X-episode. So in the next X-episode, we are going to continue on and see what is up ahead. Mail. I believe there's a Pseudo-Wudo. So grab your watering cans, kiddies, because we're going to take down a rock tree in the next EP.